Hello there, and welcome to a now even more mustachioed Craig's Critique. The film in question that I went to see this week is Birdman, which is directed by Gonzalez Iñárritu. The film focuses on Michael Keaton's character, who is in this film is an actor who used to play a superhero character called Birdman. He has found it quite hard to get roles and get away from his Birdman persona. How we follow him in the film is that he has started up a theatre production, and he is doing a show, and he is trying to effectively rejuvenate his career. But while this is going on, he has his own personal demons in the shape of his own Birdman character. It's quite a weird film. There's been many mixed opinions about this film. It's a very divisive film. Some people loved aspects of it, some people hated aspects of it, and I will try to do my best what I think of it this very moment. I'll start with the performances in this film. Michael Keaton's performance as the title character Birdman and the actor is just truly, where do we go with this? It's so bizarre to watch, but it's so interesting to watch at the same time. Because you don't know what the hell he's going to do, and that is exactly what you want from a film. You want to not know what these characters are going to do. You want to be surprised at every moment, and with his character, you are surprised at every moment. The support in this film is provided by Edward Norton, who is sort of how can I put this? An actor's actor. He loves the theatre, yet has a sort of snootiness towards films. So with like Michael Keaton's character being of a film background, he's always a bit snooty towards him, and there's a bit of tension there. We build up a brilliant relationship between them, and arguments and fights, and yeah, Edward Norton is brilliant. Emma Stone plays Keaton's daughter in this film, a recently out of rehab addict who tries to hide away as much as possible, but is actually brought out of the shell by Edward Norton's Lothario, effectively. Interestingly so. And she is very good in it as well. I must comment upon the nominations, because I think if I remember right, Emma Stone has definitely been nominated for Best Supporting Actress for this film. Michael Keaton's been nominated for Best Actor, and I think Edward Norton has been nominated for a Best Supporting Actor as well. And they are all deserved. They are all deserved. The performances in the film are great. That is one thing you can go. These are the good things about this film. Is the acting is fantastic. I'll go into the way it's shot. The film is shot because most of the action takes place in the theatre. There's a lot of panning down corridors, on stage, behind the scenes, but the way it is edited and shot is like it is almost a film of one big long take. And now you might say, yeah, sounds like a gimmick, but I found that extremely interesting to watch because you cannot tell where the edits are made. There's no joltiness at all. There's obviously bits where they turn around corners and bits where they have it made, but it is not noticeable at all. So the editing is fantastic. I love the way it was filmed. Like I say, the acting is brilliant. The soundtrack, sorry, not soundtrack, the score of the film is what I become a bit more divisive on, because it is effectively it's a percussion sort of score to the film, and I found it interesting on the trailer, but it was only a couple of minutes of it, and I found it during the film myself not annoying, but it was overpowering other aspects of the film. It didn't need to be overpowering of the aspects. They needed to have more attention than the actual score at certain moments. It's an interesting score. It's different, but I find myself a bit not on its side myself. Yes. So that's one of the negatives I'll say towards it. Where do I go next with this? Performance, score, direction. The direction is interesting. It's a difficult one to. It's going to divide audiences immensely. It's going to divide audiences immensely. Like I say, there's things I loved about this film and things I just did not like at all. I can see exactly why it's garnered this sort of awards nomination, because it is such a. Ooh, how can I put this? It's such a. Oh, I'm losing my words now. I apologise for this. People of the business will appreciate this probably more than the audiences. Audiences may be a bit jolted by certain things. I watched a lot of film, and it's certain parts of it jolted me. But I must go into particular things I mentioned upon watching it that very night. And I'm going to read something out actually that I wrote at that very night, and I put effectively. Birdman, I'm not quite sure what I just watched. My puny brain can't quite comprehend the thematics on show. This is definitely a divisive film, it's fair to say. In fact, it's splitting myself into how apt in regards to Michael Keaton's character, and there's definitely discussions to be had. That's my initial reaction to the film. I'll give you my reaction a couple of days after, which I've also written down. Is about I put. It's in my own personal opinion. I've heard another critic say it as well, so I don't know if I took influence from him, I'm not sure or not. But I thought, is Birdman's possible pretentiousness an intentional mirroring of the apparent pretentious nature of the theatre scene? Or is it saying to the theatre, in its style, where every bit as good as the theatre, but for different reasons? One is not better than the other, in other words. Or is that just gibberish, what I just said? I'm not sure. Like I say, as I continue to write, maybe I'm a critic who is just trying to find meaning in something where there isn't meant to be any. I just don't know. And as I posted that night, I thought, how the hell am I going to be able to do a simple review of this film in regards to this video right now? There's no simple review of this film other than you should see it, gauge it for yourself, and and garner your own opinions. I got a few of mine. There's a million people have different opinions to it as well. But yeah, I'll leave it like that. Birdman, must watch the film. Good stuff, bad stuff. It's a must see. So from Birdman, I will go into my now more classic film that I like to review is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So we got John Hughes in the midst of his powers in the 80s. Why I'm going to start this off because I watched Ferris Bueller the first time around. I don't think I quite appreciated it as much as I did the second time around. And I'll ask a question like, why is Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Why does Ferris Bueller's Day Off connect with so many people? Because it's not as genre trend-setting. It's not a genre. Sorry, I apologise. It's not a genre trend-setting film like The Breakfast Club was at the time, appealing to such a young audience in a specific way. And it's definitely not the funniest because I love Planes, Trains and Automobiles with John Candy and Steve Martin that he directed and wrote. I think it's probably the fact that Ferris Bueller's character in the film, Ferris Bueller's character in the film's laid backness to its story and situations is what sweeps us along in admiration for it as well, because we know we're not being pushed too much, but it's such a fun ride to have. It's not, like I say, it's not the funniest, it's not the best written, it's not such a genre trend-setting film, but it's just a cool film. It's just a cool film, and that is why so many people love this film. What, without a doubt, has it going for it is Matthew Broderick's performance as Ferris Bueller. It made him a star at the time, and it's so understandable why. He is such an ease of coolness to his character. But even though Matthew Broderick is hailed and still hailed as a brilliant performance of the time, I found myself and what I consider to be the film's secret weapon, and that's Alan Ruck's performance as Ferris's best friend Cameron. And the reason why I say this is because, other than the aspects I see of myself in the character, which is always a help to many people watching a film, if you find something in yourself in a character on screen, you've got a winner. Even though he's Ferris Bueller's best friend, he's not overly swept up in how popular Ferris is, all the attention he's getting. He's just happy to be his friend. That's it. In fact, he himself is a loner and has no interest in popularity. Yet, that is why he is so essential to Ferris Bueller's character, to show who he really values as friends, and amongst the fandom of other students, effectively. Yeah, so that was my own personal thing I found with that sort of film. I thought Element was brilliant. Uh, this film's so iconic. There are so many moments that include they're breaking out of Cameron's dad's Ferrari. I mean, oh yeah. Come on. From Ferris's just dash back to get home before his parents realise he had skipped school. Even at the end with his sister sort of covering for him is brilliant because she is his sister after all. His sister Jeannie's encounter with a drug-addled Charlie Sheen. I mean, that alone is worthy of anybody's attention. Charlie Sheen, I read, he stayed up for 3 days in order to give that performance, but then again, I'm sure he could have done other things that would have helped, given recent things going on. And one almighty twist and shout musical number in the third act of the film is just it's just truly wonderful. I mean, that's its crowning moment, effectively. It's like, we don't care what film we are going to do a musical number in the middle of this film, even though the rest of the film was not being a musical. And it was brilliant, yeah. So, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, it is an iconic film, without a doubt. So many people love it, for good reason. And yeah, there we go. One controversial film, Birdman, and one what is now an iconic film, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I thank you once again if you have watched this video, and I hope to see you around next weekend when I produce another one. It's likely to be Boyhood, hopefully. It's likely to be Beverly Hills Cop will be my classic film for next week. We've been having a very 80s centric classic film motif at the moment, and I seem to just keep popping them out. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.